Hello Yu-Gi-Oh fans, Matt here, and welcome to an updated deck profile for Shaddolls Seraphs, with the new support in Cross Souls being Anoyatyllis. I thought I might as well show you my current build that is slightly changed from the last build, but I will tell you why I'm not using Anomaly for now when in a bit during this video. So let's go straight into the deck list with Blacklist Soldier Envoy at the beginning at 1, because you can only have 1. You have 6 targets for your lights and 10 targets for your darks, so, well, actually 7 targets for your lights, but that gives it great variance, so you can bring out Envoy more or less turn 2. It also allows OTK plays if you have BLS, one of your Shaddolls fusions except from Winder, and one of your 2 Seraph exceeds. Next is one Archer Kristya. After seeing people play with this card, I decided to put one into the deck. I've seen other people play 2 or 3. I don't want to put 2 or 3 in my deck because I feel like that might clog it up, and if it comes to it, it becomes a dead draw. So I don't want to put 3 of them in or 2 of them. Currently I'm just testing at 1. It does work very well at 1, so I am happy with just having 1 Kristya in the deck. The four targets I usually have are 1 Scepter, 2 Chairs, and 1 Construct. And adding something back, I probably would add my Scepter to add another Sovereign for more fuel for my Shadow fusions. Next is double Beast, double Dragon, double Lizard, double Hedgehog, and double Falco, which was the deck consistency used by Lithium 2300. As I said in my other deck profile, that was the consistency I was using for the Shaddolls monsters, because originally I put too much Dragon or put too much Falco in and not enough Beast. So changed the consistency, and I followed that rule, and I have not changed it since. Beast is for its flip effect. It's basically Graceful Charity -1 card, and it's since the graveyard effect, my card effect is draw 1 card, so it ups that Jar of Greed. Shaddolls Dragon flip effect is basically Compulse. Graveyard effect is basically MST. Squamata is flip effect is Rich Card Break. Just to monsters are. When sent to the graveyard, it's Foolish Burial for Shaddolls. Hedgehog, it adds Shaddolls Fusion. Can't really say any better pun for that. When sent to the graveyard, it's like Sangan for Shaddolls monsters. Falco, when flip summoned, you can, well, when flipped, you can special summon a Shaddolls from your graveyard, so Monster Reborn for Shaddolls, and when sent to the graveyard card effect, it resurrects itself, so a bit like Reborn Tengu, because it does technically summon out another Tengu, so it basically summons out itself. So I can't even say it like that. But yeah, that's the Shaddolls I use. I do not use Hound, Zephyr Core, or Zephyr Naga, because I do not think they have enough strength for the Shaddolls. And to our Seraph engine, we're using triple Scepter, triple Sovereign, just to give that many plays with Scepter Sovereign, just to make sure I get them both in my hand. I do, luckily, most of the time, well, some of the time, get the actual play in my first turn or second turn. So it's very nice to have Scepter and Sovereign at 3 each, although Sovereign's playset will set you back to about 55 quid, set you back by 55 quid, so, whereas Scepter's about 20, maybe 10, 15 now. So Scepters went down because they're easier to pull. Sovereigns so hard to pull. Hate that. But yeah, it also gives fuel for your Kristya plays. Next, Triple Mathematician. Triple Mathematician does work. It doesn't clock my build up. It's very nice to dump a Shaddolls monster, usually Squamata to send Beast to get 1 draw, or send Falco to get a resurrection, or send Shaddolls Dragon as an MST. I hardly ever send Shaddolls Hedgehog unless I'm more or less running out of Shaddolls. Yeah, so it also, when it's destroyed by battle, it's sent to the graveyard, you draw 1 card, so extra draws. This deck runs on draws. Don't need Upstart Goblin for this, because we got Shaddolls Beast, Shaddolls Scepter's Exceed effects, Shaddolls Sovereignty special summon effect, Mathematician sending beasts to the graveyard effect. This is a designated add effect. I think that's about it for draws, but that is just enough for me to +4 in one turn. Then 1 Piri Piri Sauce. I'm kidding, Pira Cerberus. This monster is another target for Mathematician if you've run out of Shaddolls. When you take damage from an attack or by an opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish this card, target one card on the field, destroy it, which is always lovely. It saw a lot of play in the OCG when it was first released. I think it still sees play, and it's probably a side deck for most Shaddolls decks. I'm running in the main because it does work very well. So yeah, 22 monsters, and it doesn't really slow me down. For spells, I have Run 8, 1 Reijeki, as it's a Chinlock out, triple Shaddolls Fusion. I find I prefer this Shaddolls Fusion to El Shaddolls Fusion, but just because you can special summon from your deck. El Shaddolls Fusion is amazing though. I'll get into that in a minute. The Shaddolls Fusion when your opponent has an extra deck monster on their field, so including pendulum monsters that summon from the extra deck. Should remember that, but not including monsters like some that were originally from the extra deck but summoned from Call the Haunted, for example. So just make sure you know where it came from. So it sends them from the deck, so you can instantly go into a construct if you don't have any lights in your hand, or Shekinaga, or even Winder. So yeah, it gives instant variance there. 1 Foolish Burial, because if you send a beast, you draw 1 card. So basically just draw 1 card in this sense. 2 El Shaddolls Fusion, perfect for OTK plays, and it's a great way of stopping Valkyrius as you confuse your targets, and then Valkyrius' negate effect does not have a target to negate, therefore you can continue your battle phase. So that's what it's primarily used at. I think if you're going to use 3 El Shaddolls Fusion, use only 2 Shaddolls Fusion. Don't make triple fusion there. It's going to be too cloggy. And that's what I found out with triple El Shaddolls Fusion. So 2 El Shaddolls Fusion is my recommendation, unless you're running 2 Shaddolls Fusion and putting 3. It depends where you are in the duel, or who you think you're going to go against. Depends if the meta changes, because currently it's mostly Necros, and then some of the more variant decks like Infernoids, Shaddolls, Teller, Heroes, and Please are starting to regain thanks to lose 1 turn. So yeah, and 1 Book of Moon that is a Chinlock out as well. You always have to have your Chinlock outs, especially in the days that Chinlock is still around. Hopefully Konami will ban it on this next ban list. If not, I'm going to be crying so much. Onto the traps, we have 10 of them. Bombless Trap Hole is the first. Just destroys your opponent's monster. You should know what Bombless Trap Hole does. 1 Shaddolls Core. Core is a good card to send from your deck to the graveyard to add a Shaddolls spell trap from your graveyard and set up further plays. Also, it can be used as a trap monster for a fusion summon, and it can be any attribute at all that it needs for a fusion summon of a El Shaddolls monster. And it can also be a good synchro target to bring out Star Eater if you're synchroing with Falco. Although I don't run Star Eater in this one, it just never get that chance, usually. Next, 1 Vanity, because if you set up Construct, you don't really need anything else. Triple Phoenix Chain, because I prefer this over Effect Veiler. I see a lot of people playing Effect Veiler over Phoenix Chain, but I just like more defense. I am more of a defensive duelist. So my Shaddolls decks are usually running more traps than a normal Shaddolls deck would, because originally triple Mind Crush. But yeah, Phoenix Chain, I prefer its called attack effect, and negation can be used on your turn, unlike Effect Veiler, which is just a bit bland and would mean you would be more likely to be hit by a Trishula. Well, not really, you're going to have to send out a Trishula, but that's forcing your hand. Okay, Triple Call the Haunted. This is a new one to add into the deck. I've seen a lot of people play it. Mainly for the Seraph engine to allow you to use your Seraph in the graveyard to draw multiple cards during your opponent's end phase when you probably would use it because they can't really counteract to it. So that's usually for that. Or if you sent your Kristya to the graveyard, you can bring a Call Haunted and bring out a monster that stops all special summoning. Absolutely lovely. So yeah, that's what it's mainly used for, but you could also resurrect your Falco and then go into a Synchro or summon out your Construct again. So it depends what you want to see. And one Solemn Warning, because Solemn Warning is amazing. Compulsory Evacuation Device was taken out for this build, and Triple Mind Crush. Triple Mind Crush it will be now in my side deck. I liked it, and it showed very good promise when I used it, but there's just not enough room in the deck, and I don't want it to go over 40 cards, so I moved my Mind Crushes into the side deck because sometimes it just became a dead draw. Whereas Call the Haunted doesn't actually show it as a dead draw. And onto the extra deck, we run Fusions, Synchros, and Exceeds. So onto the Exceeds first. Evil Swarm Exciton Knight because it blows everything up. Castell because it's the best rank 4. 101 because I still adore it even if people are disfavored with it over Castell. 1 Deltaros as a target for Seraph plays, and 1 Ouroboros, keep mixing them up with Ophion, as it's also a Seraph play, depending on what my opponent's field presence is. Usually if I am doing the Seraph play turn 1, I will use Ouroboros. If I'm using it turn 2, I will probably go into Deltaros to blow up the field and then go into Constellar Diamond, which is a new one from wasn't in my other deck list. I've run this now as it's anti-Light Sworn because that has prominence. It's anti anything that sends the cards to the graveyard from the deck. It also stops Silivans in that sense. Silivans are amazing if you have the right build because Triple Lonefire just makes them go off, and this has a hard time. Well, they're equally matched against Silivans. It's a fair amount of 50% gonna win, 50% gonna lose. Constellar Diamond is a good favour to keep in the deck to use for that. Also, any cards that are added from the graveyard to the hand are banished instead, and during either player's turn, when the opponent activates the effect of a dark monster, you can detach an Exceed material to negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. So that's always good as well. So it has a lot of nice effects that show its use. It's also a good card for mirror matches against Shaddolls if they're using their primary Shaddolls. Won't be affecting any of those, huh? Onto Synchros, I'm running Armides. I've kept him in. I took him out originally because I thought, well, Armides wasn't going to be used as much. It turns out it's great in a mirror match against Shaddolls because they can't use their flip effects. Great against Silivans because they can't use like something like Dandelion or Sacagawea, or Sage Koi, I mean. So that is just amazing, and I'm keeping him in now as a level 5 Synchro monster for Falco Hedgehog plays or Falco Mathematician plays or Falco Paraset plays. I've yet to summon it through that though. My level 7 originally had 2, which were Black Rose Dragon and Yazi Evil of the Yang Xing. I have now switched them out because I finally got Arcanite Magician in real life, so I've been trying it and it does work. It's a lovely card. You would summon that with Falco and Beast to bring out a lovely Arcanite Magician will pop 2 cards or be a 2400 beta. So always nice. And Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree, originally taken out during testing for actual Kristya, but put back in because going from Falco into a construct to summon out Leo, get a fusion back, it's always nice. And this monster can't be targeted by opponent's card effects except during main phase 2, so it would slow down my opponent. Not running Star Eater, but if I was, I probably would take out Leo instead for it. For the fusions, I run 2 Winder. 3 Winder is a bit excessive. It just, you don't really need it that much. I hardly ever go into double Winder in a duel. So you won't, but it's always an amazing card. It should always at least run 2. So it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So that stops Torrential Tribute on your opponent's side. But if you Dark Hole yourself or Torrential Tribute yourself, it will destroy Winder. Should make that point clear. Each player can only special summon monsters once per turn while this card is face up on the field, so usually when you summon it, you'll be summoning out Falco. So, and if you are going to synchro that turn, do not use Falco's effect, as you will be not able to synchro summon. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Shaddolls spell trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. It does not miss timing, as is an effect. All Shaddolls fusion monsters have that effect when sent to the graveyard. So that's always good to replenish the resources. Then triple construct. Most likely, this is for my prediction, and based on OCG's ban list. When we get the new ban list, I think Construct's going to get a hit. Star Seraph Shaddolls are top tier right now, so I think Construct's going to get a hit. And if it does, it may be limited down to 1, or even banned like in the OCG, which will be horrible for Shaddolls, as they may not be able to recuperate. They may have to go into a Shek Turbo. So yeah, Construct is amazing because if this is special summon, you can basically Foolish Burial any of your Shaddolls cards, and at the damage step, if this battles a special summon monster, automatic destruction. So it gets around things like Felground, because if they protect themselves or negate Construct effect, they're still going to get killed in battle. And it's a good way of getting around other annoying cards that can't be destroyed by battle, because they may be special summoned. They can't get past a Marshmallow, obviously. You'd have to use one of your outs like Dragon or Squamata or Rejeki. So yeah, that's that. Triple Construct is my suggested quantity, because you can go into Construct 3 times in one duel. Usually I go into double Construct in one duel, and this has been hyped up to about 15-20 quid now, and Wind is probably about 15-20 as well. Shek is one of the lower value ones, about 4 quid for secret. Shekinaga is a good monster. You can send Piri Source and your Shaddolls monster to bring out Shek very easily, and also sell up your graveyard. So yeah, during either player's turn, when a monster that was special summon activates effect, if you have Shaddolls card in your hand, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it, and then send one Shaddolls card from your hand to the graveyard. So even allows a Shaddolls play with their graveyard effects. So that's lovely, and it's a 3000 defense, and it's not going to be a good target for mind control because it's level 10, unless you're going to go strengths. So yeah, that's the extra deck I'm currently running. For just as a few sides, my crush I'm using at triple, and I do recommend using Secret Village of the Spellcasters or Anti-Spell Fragrance, as we're going into the Pendulum period with Ignites and Dragon Magicians coming out eventually in the TCG. So prepare yourself, bring something like this to stop your opponent using spell cards. I prefer this over anti-spell because both players have to set their things and it slows me down, whereas this more or less completely stops Necros. Well, they do have 2 outs to it, which are Dance Princess, which I love to book a moon, so funny, and their new support Zephyr Saber, which some people have noticed as a good out to Anti-Spell Fragrance and Secret Village, which allows them to ritual summon without their ritual spells. So that's 2 outs to it, but not every player will be doing that, so I still advise Secret Village. It was MVP when I go against Cleese and Necros in regionals, so yeah, I advise it. I always love it, and it also helps against Alphans. So I'm going back to this Anomaly. The reason why I'm not running her right now is because I don't have one. Anomaly is about 25 quid in the UK right now, and it's very hard to find one. Loads of people wanting one, not many people offering one. She is a great card and perfect for Shaddolls. Perfect for Shaddolls mirror matches and perfect for Necros, except for Zephyr Sabers, because Zephyr Saber is still out for that. But it stops any player special summoning from the hand or graveyard with a spell trap effect. So that also stops your own Shadow fusion. So if you're bringing out Anomaly, be prepared to have already a construct on the field, just to make sure you have some presence on your field. It's a nice 2700 beta, but construct, you can't beat a construct. But yeah, it stops Shadow players in their tracks as well, because they can't use their Shadow fusions to get over it with a construct. So they'll have to out it with a dragon or a Squamata, or they can go into their Seraph plays and bring out Deltaros or Ouroboros, which is always nice. So there's always that out, and that's always an out for Silivant when they're playing Crimson Blader. Very lucky. And we have that. But Anomaly is an amazing card. To run it more efficiently, I would suggest either Nef Shadow Fusion or a second Shadow Core, maybe in side deck for a second Shadow Core, as they're the main ways you're going to use it without running a water monster. If you're going to run a water monster, I would say either Sinister Serpent, which is now unbanned and at 1, with its new errata, which gives you supplies for a second Anomaly, although you don't really need more than one that much. Also, the other one was Shock Troops of the Ice Barrier, that weird hyped tech for Necros that we randomly found. So you could also use that, and it uses your last Shock Trooper, which you cannot use because it has a ruling that you have to have an Ice Barrier in your deck to use its effect. So there's always that. But yeah, Nef Shadow Fusion changes your Shadow monster to any attribute it likes, and then you can fusion summon off of that. The first and only fusion equip spell, and then Shadow Core can be used as any fusion material for a attribute monster. So you can go into Anomaly via that, and you also gain its effect. Whereas that is just an extra fusion card, although granted very slow, but an excellent card art right there. Also would like to just mention Sinister Shadow Games, another card that frequently Shadow players use. I just don't like it. I get through my Shaddolls fast enough without using this card. I have never run this card, and I am thankful for it. It's a great card. You can flip during your opponent's turns. It's chainable back row, yes, but I probably would have already gone through all my Shaddolls by turn 10, say. I probably would have got through all my Shaddolls by then if I had a good hand. But Sinister Shadow Games does have worth, and it's about 10-15 quid in the UK right now. So, and when reprinted, I may try and use one of them, but it's not going to be 100%. Plus it's a bit slow because it's not a spell card like Foolish Burial. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this deck list for Seraph Shaddolls, and I will test it out again just to show you Kristya mainly, if I get out, or Source. So yeah, and I will not be using Anomaly, not until I get it. If I get it, I will do an extra set of duels to show Anomaly. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please comment below if there's any deck suggestions. Right now I'm not taking any for Shaddolls, to be honest, because this deck list is working perfectly for me. Cold is starting to grow on me for this deck. So yeah, I'm enjoying it right now, and so not really anything I can really change. Very hard, limited space on here, and I don't want to get rid of my effect negation. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe for further content. I always upload videos every day, unless I'm ill or it's raining. If it's raining, I won't have a chance to get around, and if I haven't had anything stockpiled, can't really do anything about that, but I try to get them out every day. So yeah, thank you for watching. Matt Durant signing out.